Orkney Harbour Radio. Here's a local weather forecast for Scapa Flow, the 21st, north of coastal waters, followed by the repetition of 3 navigation warnings. First, the forecast, which was issued today, Monday the 15th of August at 03:30 UTC. General situation.
I started fishing at a very early age.
This is Richard Groat. He is a Creel fisherman from the island of Stronsay in Orkney. His current boat is the Internos 2.
She's an 8BR29 hull design built of fiberglass in 1981. I bought her for the Isle of Skye and steamed her home to Orkney in April 2005. She's 29 feet long and has a beam of 11 feet. She draws 5 feet of water. The engine is a 80 horsepower Ford and her top speed is 7 knots.
He's out at sea every day, weather permitting, checking his creels for lobster or crabs.
The hydraulic hauler is capable of lifting loads of up to 1 ton.
Although he never quite knows what he'll get in a creel, like this dogfish for example. We'll throw him back.
The creels are plastic coated steel frames covered with netting and usually have 2 eyes where the lobster enter the trap. A backdrop is 20 creels linked with rope and a chain anchor at each end. I have 400 creels in use at the minute.
Crabs of all types are attracted to the bait in the creel, but it's only the velvet crabs, Partans, and of course the lobster that Richard wants to attract. The rest go back. Richard uses horse mackerel, or scad, to bait the creels.
The main catch is lobsters and velvet crabs, which are caught in the creels. Other seasonal catches include whelks and edible brown crabs, known locally as buckies and partans.
This is today's haul of velvet crabs.
In this day and age, with lobsters being scarce due to overfishing, 1 lobster out of every 10 creels is an acceptable catch. But with the sea, nothing is predictable.
The lobsters are kept separate from the crabs. This creel has 2 lobsters in it. And he's checking them for size. But sadly, they're too small. So back they go. This female lobster is buried or carrying eggs.
A few years ago, Orkney Fisheries Association funded a scheme to ensure the future of lobster fishing in Orkney waters. Originally, the scheme rewarded fishermen with a cash incentive for no landing buried females. And the lobsters were marked with a V cut in one of their tail fins so they could be easily identified if they were caught again. Although the cash incentive has ended, it is still illegal to land V-notched lobsters.
Once the backdrop of 20 creels has been hauled and rebaited, it's time for them to be shot back into the sea.
On a typical day, I'm up at 6 and off to sea by 7, but this depends on the time of year, the sea and tide conditions. Depending on how many creels I have to haul, I can be back in at the pier by 5. Although my day still isn't finished, I still have to tie lobsters, cut partans and prepare for the next day. Because I work on my own, I usually fish during daylight hours, which is grand in the long summer days, but no so easy in the winter months, where the daylight can be as little as 7 hours.
The claws of the lobsters are secured with elastic bands. Once all the creels have been checked, the catch is transferred into these wooden boxes, which are anchored in the sea to keep the catch alive. Even though the boat's tied up, the work still isn't finished. There's tidying up to do and creels to repair. The creels get damaged by the weather, especially the heavy winter seas from the southeast. Also, seals like to get a free feed and damage creels while trying to get to the contents. That's another one fixed and ready for back out tomorrow. The next morning we're up really early to gather the week's catch. The ferry will take the boxes of live crabs and lobsters into Creel, and from there they'll be sent south.
Most of the velvet crabs are shipped live to Spain. Once lobsters are landed in Stronzy, they are shipped alive to Creel, then on south and could end up on a dinner plate in a posh London restaurant.
And these are the Partans, the edible brown crab. The empty boxes are back from Creel, so it's time to load them back on board the boat. Then there's bait to chop. it's time to head out again to start another week.
I love the sea and enjoy being outside and get a real buzz when I get a lobster and a creel.
All ships, all stations. This is Orkney Harbour Radio. Orkney Harbour Radio. Here's the local weather forecast for Scapa Flow, the Partans, and Orkney coastal waters.
Oh, I lay in bed ere lang this morning, heedless o' my mother's a warning, turned and twisted all night long and never closed a knee. While outside a million stars were winking, sleep it wouldn't come for thinking o' the loving words that Willie said to me. Oh, Willie's tall and Willie's bonny, Willie has nae muckle money, know that siller matters when I ken I lue him weel. But I think I'd better tarry, bide a wee afore I marry, bide till Willie's catching mair than Partans in his Creel.